watching. But let us know in the chat or on the comments if you're watching on YouTube, what are your favorite anime or TV show? I see a huge variety of different anime from all different times and stuff too. Awesome, we are live. Welcome everyone. We're super excited to be here with Lora and Elsa, XD ambassadors on Let's Design an App Together in Adobe XD. And before we get started, I'm going to share some slides for a quick intro to Design Buddies and quick house rules. So yeah, so here are slides, Design Buddies. So I'm Grace. I founded Design Buddies in April of 2020, just for fun. I kind of saw it blow up, and full-time a product designer at Electronic Arts, but I love all things design. We have a ton of fun resources like mentorship, events, design challenges, giveaways as well. We have a huge Discord community. We also host a ton of events and very wholesome resources to help y'all level up in your design career. And just some quick house rules, events are recorded. If you do not wish to be recorded, please watch on our YouTube channel. Feel free to engage in the chat. If anyone from our audience or any of our speakers say something that resonates with you, feel free to comment. And feel free to keep promotional links in the networking sheet. We also really want to encourage our buddies, all of you, to connect with each other as well and make friends in our community. And yeah, we like to take group selfies. So we'll be having a fun group photo at the end of the workshop. And we also have a giveaway. So make sure to stay from there. And we also have Zoom backgrounds for y'all to download if you want to twin with us. Feel free to share your giveaway, share your takeaways on social media, tagging our speakers, tagging Design Buddies. We love to reshare them on your Instagram story or retweet them on Twitter. Connect with each other. Feel free to hop into our Discord, have fun, be respectful, and yeah, feel free to check out any of our links. And just for a quick agenda for today, we'll have a workshop and then we'll have a group photo. So feel free to get any of your Design Buddies backgrounds, and we have a giveaway. So we'll be choosing 3 random winners to win Adobe XD swag in the chat after our photo, and then we'll have Q&A. So yeah, and with that, I'll hand it over to Lora and Elsa.
Thanks so much, Grace. So hi, everyone. I'll just start sharing my screen immediately. Yep, and it should be showing now. So yeah, hi, everyone. We're super excited to be here, Lora and myself. We're going to do a quick intro of who we are before we dive into our agenda for today and what we'll be doing. So a bit about myself. My name's Elsa, and I'm a visual designer as well as an Adobe XD ambassador. And these are some of my social media links. If you wanted to connect after the workshop, please do so. I love to connect with other designers or just other creatives in general and talk about really anything that you'd want. And these are a couple of different samples of work that I've done in the past, some of them case studies, and some of them just fun designs that I've done in my own time.
And hi again, everybody. My name is Lora Staneva, and I'm a digital designer based in Copenhagen, Denmark. And I'm also an Adobe XD ambassador. You can see my handle here in all social media. Feel free to connect with me. And you can see also some of my projects. And feel free to always reach out to me if you have questions about Adobe XD, UI design, or anything else.
Awesome. So I'll just run through the agenda really quickly of what we want to be doing today. So we're going to be designing an NFT marketplace app together. So the whole idea is to show you how you can collaborate with each other on XD and also show how you can use style guides, assets to essentially make your design process a lot more efficient and faster. So you can ask questions throughout the live chat, and towards the end, we'll have a Q&A. And we'll also have 3 random attendees win really cool Adobe XD swag, as well as 3 more people win more swag with the design challenge that we'll be hosting on the Design Buddies Discord as well. So once again, feel free to connect with us on social media and also just interact with us. We'll be on the Discord as well on Design Buddies if you wanted to chat there. So that was just a quick intro, and we're going to immediately dive into our workshop and get started. So Laura and I kind of wanted to show you guys how to collaborate with each other on XD. So if you notice, we are both on the same XD file, and we'll be working on this marketplace, NFT marketplace app together. I'll start out by compiling our style guide. So if you can see here, we have a couple different assets we've laid out on an artboard. So typography, colors, icons, as well as the logo we'll be using. And we have a couple of images as well that we've pulled out that we wanted to use in our design. So I'm going to be showing you how you can add these assets into your asset library. That way you can access them throughout your app design process. And that's also going to make it easier for Lora, who'll be doing the design part of this entire workshop as well. So to start off with, we'll start off with our colors. We have a couple different colors laid out here that we're planning on using in our design. So the blue is kind of going to be our primary, and then the darker shades of gray and white are going to be just neutral colors that we plan on using throughout our design. You'll notice that our background here is dark, not necessarily black, but a dark gray, because we're going to be designing our app in dark mode, just because dark mode kind of gave us more of that high tech type of feel, or seemed to look cooler. So we decided to design our app in dark mode as well. So to start off in terms of adding our assets, I'm going to start out with the blue. So I'm just going to select that blue and then select this plus icon here to add that color to our assets library. You can also choose to rename your asset if you wanted to, or you can just choose to leave it as it is. Because we only have the one blue, I'll kind of just leave it as it is for now. And then I can add in the rest of my colors as well, either individually, or I can select all of them. So if I wanted to select all my colors and then click the plus icon, and it'll add them all immediately. So once it's added, you can of course reorganize them so that it goes kind of from darker to lighter to make it easier for you as well. So I'll do that real quick. And so now we have all our colors in from lights to dark, just to make it easier as a reference point. And then of course, you just want to be careful when you are selecting your colors that you don't accidentally change them in your artboard like I've done. But because we've already added them here, it's a really quick fix to make sure that they've gone back to normal as well. Okay, awesome. So the next thing I'm going to do is work on adding the typography assets as well. So we have 3 different types of font sizes. We've identified the font that we're going to be using is Halcom, and we have 3 different font sizes that we want to be using in our design. So that's going to be under character styles. So for our first font size, this is going to be what we use for headings. So if I wanted to click that and then click the plus icon for character styles, and it'll add that particular font size for me. And I want to rename it as well, just to make it really clear what specific purpose this font size is for. So for Halcom regular 24 pixels, that's going to be for headings. So I'm just going to rename it headings. And so that's going to make it really easy for Lora later on when she's doing the design to know which font size to apply to the text on our artboards. So same thing with the copy text. I'm going to select it, add it to my character styles, and then rename it as copy. And same thing with our secondary text. I'm going to select that, add it to my character style, and rename it as secondary. So just like that, we have our character styles done. And as a final point, we're going to work on adding components. So these are essentially different elements that we're going to reuse in our design. So it's easier to add them as components, especially if you change them later on. Changing the main component will change all the instances on the rest of your design. So it's a lot more quicker to apply those changes. So as a starting point, we have our logo, which is just a really basic NFT text, but that's what we're going to be working with. And I'm going to select it and add it here to my components. So once it's in my component, it's already labeled as a logo, so that's fine. I don't need to rename it, and I can move forward to adding my icons as well. So we're also going to be adding our icons as components too. So if I wanted to select the first one, add as a component, and because the label already tells us what it is, I don't need to rename it either. And then same thing, I'm just going to do that for each individual icon. If you were to select multiple and then add them to your assets library, they'll kind of add as one component, so as a whole together, as opposed to individually. So you just kind of want to make sure that you do it separately for each one. So this is our Discord, which is already labeled accordingly, so that's fine. So same thing with our Instagram icon. And then we have a couple custom icons that we had made in advance. So for these ones, okay, this is called single view, so that's fine as well. We don't need to change the name. And we have multiple view. And then I'm just going to add our navigation icons that we plan to use as well. Okay, so we added our heart. So for the person icon, because the label is single O1, that might not be as clear as to what it's going to be. So we'll relabel that as user. That way it's a lot more clear what this icon is when we're adding it to our artboard. So we'll add our menu icon as well, if it would like to. And then let me add the search icon. And then I'm just going to go ahead and rename our menu icon to make it clear that it is for the menu. And so just like that, we have all our assets added to our assets library. So now it's going to be a lot easier for Lora to then start applying those different assets to our design. And so I'll hand it off to her.
Great. Let me just share my screen. I hope you guys can see. Elsa and I have prepared also low fidelity wireframes, and we are now going to be using the assets that she just added to our document assets to actually convert these low fidelity wireframes into high fidelity. And we've prepared 3 screens. I hope we'll have enough time to work on all of them. But basically the first one is the artist profile page. The second one is the filters. So basically when you're on the artist profile page, you can click on the search icon, and then basically it will bring all the filters. You can put your requirements, and then it will lead you to the NFT page, so you can choose an NFT that you want to buy. So let's start applying the colors. If you select the artboard, let me just remove this from here. If you just select the artboard and you go to the properties panel, you can choose your color from here, or you can choose it from the assets where Elsa added them. Let's choose this black one for the dark mode version of it. Then we need to convert all these elements in white. Basically, you select each element and you click on the color you want to apply to it, and it instantly applies it. As you can see, also here is the icon of Elsa, so she is working alongside me, and she will be actually helping me with these screens. Then we also have assets here for our placeholders. So you can either take assets from here, pull them into your screen page, and basically put them here with mask. For example, I want to use this image screen, and I want to put it here in this circle for an avatar. So I can select both of these and click Ctrl+Shift+M and create a mask. Or another option is when I select both of these, I can right click and then mask with shape. So there's 2 ways to make a mask. And there's also another way actually to make a mask, which is if I just select this circle and then I drag an image from my folder, from my computer, right into this circle, it creates the mask. And then I can just adjust it to my liking. So maybe something like this. And here for the header, we actually want to put a video. And when you put a video in XD or a Lottie file, you can select the video itself, and you can see this play icon on the bottom, and this indicates that this is a video. And then when you select that, in the properties panel appear more like properties for you. So currently this video is set to play on tap, but I actually want it to play automatically. So I'm gonna set play automatically. And then if you click on this little icon here, customize your video, you can customize it to loop the playback, which means that it will continue playing. Let me just show you how that looks. To preview your prototype, you need to select your artboard and then hit this play button here. And then you can see, this is on the way, and then you can basically see how the screen looks so far. It's still not ready, we're just in the beginning. So let's continue with converting the colors here. And actually we have here a name for our artist, and we have their handle. So I'm just copy pasting them from our file. We also have a user wallet. They would need that in order to sell their NFT. And we can maybe make this with blue color and underline the text so it looks like link. Then we can continue with our button and make it blue. This is our CTA. Let me just select only the shape. And if we decide that this will be our style for our buttons, we can actually create this as a component already. So there's two different ways to make that. You can select your object, in this case, it's this button, and you can go into your document assets panel and click this little plus here, and it will automatically add this button in our document assets, and then we can reuse that. Another way to add this component, let me just revert, is again, by selecting your object, right click, make component, and it adds it again. And there is a third way to do that, same thing, and it's again by selecting your object and pressing Control K on Windows and Command K in Mac. And I'm usually using the shortcut Control K, it's much faster. Then we have here the description of the artist, like an intro, and we have it here actually written, so I'm just gonna copy paste that. And again, I'm gonna use the colors from here to change the colors. I can see that the opacity is lower, so I can make it a little higher from here. Then we have our icons. We can either change the color from here right away, or we can pull them out from the asset, but I think it's quicker to just change the colors. And then further down the screen, we have the NFTs that this artist has created. And we have here two different tabs, created and collected items. Let me make that white as well. And then here we have the navigation menu. Now I want to actually create the menu and pull all the icons. So first I'm going to change the background to black. Let me maybe change it to this one here. And then I'm going to start pulling the icons from the document assets panel. So I'm going to start from the home icon here. And I already have a place here for each icon. So I'm just going to pull them in here. And after that, I'm going to remove the circles. Just a second. And the last icon. And then I can remove all these circles because I don't need them anymore. And I can align the icons basically by selecting all of them. If you select all the icons, and you can use the properties panel here, the alignment tools, and align them to have like the same space between them, and then also align them to be in the same line. And for accessibility purposes, I'm also going to add text. Oops, I have a very huge text here. As you can see, it's huge, but we can use the styles that Elsa created for us. And I'm going to use this secondary one because it's for our secondary text and place it underneath here. And then I'm actually going to align each icon to the name. So this will be favorite. Then we have profile. And the last one is more. And as we're gonna actually need this menu quite often in our design, I'm going to select everything. And I'm gonna create a component by clicking Control K. And then we have this navigation menu here in our component. And then I'm gonna move on to our cards, which are representing the NFTs. And I'm going to convert one of them. I'm going to convert one of them in high fidelity, and then I'm going to make it as a component and basically use the instances of that component for the rest of them. So let's start from the background again. I'm selecting the rectangle, and I'm selecting the lighter dark color because we already have the darkest black for the background here. Let me just make sure that I'm selecting only the rectangle. And then I'm going to select this smaller rectangle to actually put an artwork in there. And I'm dragging this directly from my computer. And then I'm going to convert all the text items in white. And when you want to apply a color to a line like this one here, so to the stroke of an object, in order to use the document assets for this, you need to actually right-click on it and then apply border color. And there is another option also. If I press Ctrl-Z, I can go to the properties panel here, and I can see that my current color for this line is gray, but I want it to be white. So I can just click here on the white, and here I have actually the same colors as the ones we have here in the document assets. I am only missing the blue color, but I can add that very easily. I can just select this rectangle, and then on the properties panel, I can see that I have blue here. And if you click this plus icon here, it automatically adds it to your colors swatches here. So you can choose which one is easier for you to work with. And if you actually want to remove one of these colors, you can just hold one of the colors that you want to remove and then drag it outside. This is how you remove it, because it wasn't very clear for me in the beginning. Then we can put a name here for our artwork. Let's say Milky Way, for example. I'm gonna copy the handle of the creator here, and I'm actually going to use this card now to create a component. So I'm selecting everything, and I'm pressing Ctrl-K. Or as I showed you before, you can just press this little plus icon here. And then what I can do is I can basically remove this low fidelity wireframe, and I can, if you hold Alt and you just take this and drag it, it creates a duplicate. Or you can just drag it from here. And the difference between these two items now is, with this one, I created the component itself. So here we have the main component. And every component after that I drag from the main component is going to be an instance of that component. And the difference is, first, if you want to see which is your main component and which is your instance of a main component, you can look at that little handle here. You see that this diamond here is filled with green color. And then the diamond of the instance of the component is white. And the difference in those is also that if I want to apply changes to all the instances of one component, I can just go to the main component and do that. Let's say now we have this main component and we have this instance of a component, and I will create a third instance of the component. And I want to change the background color of all of these with just one action. So let's say I want to change the background. I select the rectangle here. I go to my color properties and I can change that color. And you can see it changes everywhere. So that makes it very easy when you work with like large files and a lot of screens to actually apply changes very quickly. Okay, so now we have this one ready. I only want to change the image here, so it's like a different NFT, and we can also change the price here. Let's say to 170. And we can see that while I was working on the first screen, Elsa has almost finished the second one, actually. And the second one is, here we have all the filters. and they will pop up when the user clicks on this search icon here on the top. And we can move to the third screen while Elsa finishes the second one. It's going to be very quick with this one. So again, I'm selecting the artboard, and also there is a third way actually for you to change the colors. So the first one was here from the document assets. The second one was here from the properties. And the third one is I can select my artboard by double clicking on it, and then I can press the I key on my keyboard, and I can select any color. I can pick any color with this color picker. And then I'm actually going to just remove these from here because we already have them here. And if you just select them and press Control C or Command C on Mac, and you select the next artboard and press Control or Command V, it will paste them in the same place as they are in the first artboard. So I think this is a little quicker. And then here we have a lot of text. I'm just going to select it with one action, and then I'm going to just change the color from here. And I'm going to quickly drop another artwork here. And then I basically need to change also the color of these icons. I can do that from the document assets, for example. Let me change this arrow. And I can now change the colors of this button, or I can also drag the button I have from the component assets, and I can just adjust here the size and change the text to I. And I need to change also this one to white. This one needs to be changed to white. If you have any questions, by the way, just post them in the Zoom chat or in YouTube, and we will answer them afterwards. I'm trying to explain everything as I go. And the last two things actually that we need to do is these cards, but I'm not going to spend time to do them from zero. So I'm just going to delete them, and I'm going to drag instances from my component here. And I'm just going to change the artwork. Let me just find an asset here. So as you can see, I'm just selecting the shape and I'm dragging the image right inside of it. And we are almost ready, I think. Yes, maybe here we have just a few boxes that we need to change the color of, but yeah, we can do that also from here. I can actually select both of these. Oops. No.
Oh, whoops, my bad. So while Laura's doing this, I'm also just adding any last minute elements on all the artboards as well.
Yeah, that's great. So let me see if this is actually in a group. Yeah, it's in a group. I need to ungroup it, and I can select these boxes, and I can very quickly change it from here. So here in the properties panel, we have two colors, fill and border. I showed them just a minute ago, but basically if I want to actually reverse the colors. So where I have white, I want to have black. So I'm clicking that, and where I have black, I want to have white. And then I can only select my text and also convert that. I can see that the opacity is lower and I want it to be higher, so I can also change that. Yes, and we just have a few more boxes here to change. Again, I can just reverse the colors from here. And with these ones, I can select them all in the same time, and I can change the colors all in the same time. And I think we managed to finish all the screens. So I guess now we can go to the QA part of the event and answer any questions that people might have.
Yeah, do you want to click an artboard, and preview it?
Yes, I actually haven't connected those, but let me do that. So here from the first screen, we want to be able to, when we click on this search icon, we want to go to the second screen. So as you can see here, we have 3 different tabs. Currently, we're in the design tab and we were designing here. But actually now we want to connect these screens. So that's why we're gonna click on prototype. And from here, we can connect those screens. So now I'm selecting this icon. I already have it selected actually. And I have this little arrow here. And I can take that and pull it to the second screen. And then here it appears another menu, which is for like customizing your prototype interaction. And as you can see here, the trigger is on top. So currently, if the user press on this search icon on top, then they will be forwarded to the second screen, which is actually what we want. And then the user will be filling out all these filters here. And oops, I can see actually here I have a mistake. So I'm gonna go back to the design. And I'm gonna just change the text here to search. And I'm gonna go back to prototype and I'm gonna select this search button. And again, I'm gonna take this arrow and pull it to the next screen. And I'm actually, again, gonna keep the trigger to be on top because it makes sense for the user to press on the search and go to the second screen. But you can also choose like what type of transition you want here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just, I'm just gonna keep it on transition, but you can also, for example, if you're working with like voice, you can also add here audio and speech playback, for example. This is very cool. But let's see now how our screens look. So if I select the first artboard and I click this play icon here on the top, it shows me how my design looks. Let me just have a clear background. Yep. And as you can see, because in the beginning we customized our video to be playing automatically. So now when I actually,
Laura, because you shared the XD program, it doesn't actually show the preview window.
Oh, okay.
You might have to share your entire screen, I believe.
Let me just.
Yeah, because technically it's 2 different windows. I guess also advice for anyone else. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, now you can see it. So yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, as you can see, when we open our first screen, the video already starts playing. And this is because in the beginning, we customized the video to be playing automatically and it's looping. So it will be playing here forever. I mean, yeah. And then we can see how our screen looks here. And if we click here on the search icon, it will already send us to the filter screen and we can customize these filters and then go to search and then go to basically the NFT pages here. And yeah, this is how it looks. You can also use animation to connect the different screens, but maybe we can do that in another workshop because I think we're out of time.
Thank you. Yeah, feel free. We have some more time. We just need at least 15 minutes for Q&A. So if there's anything else you want to go over, feel free to do so. We can do group photo, giveaway, and then Q&A.
Okay, so let's continue then with the Q&A. Or you mean we have more time for our workshop?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do a quick group photo really quick as well. And feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat. And also, is it possible for people to access this file afterwards, or can we post it on our Discord?
Yes, we will provide a link to the file or the file itself. If people want to have access to our assets and our wireframes, I think we need to share the file so they can actually use it. Because if we share a link, they're just going to be able to preview what we designed. So if they want the assets, we will just share the file in your Discord channel.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I just got DM'd that question a lot, so I just wanted to address it really quick. Yeah, for us, feel free to turn on your camera if you want. We're gonna do a group photo and then a giveaway. For the giveaway, we're gonna have some fun trivia questions and also other prompts where everyone can participate as well. For the giveaway, we will have people just like comment some stuff in the chat, and then later we'll randomly choose one and announce them on Discord. And so please copy paste your questions afterwards because the chat's going to be filled up as well after the giveaway. So I noticed some down, but please remember your questions and paste them afterwards, because the way to answer the giveaway is to like say some stuff in the chat, kind of like a Twitch chat, but like Design Buddy Zoom style. So yeah, feel free to turn on your camera if you want. I'm gonna count down. They're gonna do a static group photo first, and then a wave one for an Instagram story. If you don't want to turn your camera, you can also react and zoom, so you can have a fun emoji by your name as well if you wish. I see someone with a dog. I love it, Alexander. Yeah, I love seeing on Design Buddy Zoom background. So I'm gonna count down 5 seconds, let people in the waiting room, and we're gonna do a static one first. And then I usually take a couple and choose the one where everyone looks the best in, and then a wave for our Instagram story. So, all right, 5, 4. Oh, feel free to like bring any object you want. I have Fluffle here with me. Also some stuffed animals, so feel free to bring them if you want. I like to spice things up over at Design Buddy. So yeah, all right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Say XD.
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 Yeah. And I'm gonna do one for Instagram. So I used to say Fluffle, but I feel like XD, if you flip it, it's like it's smiling. So sorry, it's like 8 a.m. for me. So, you know, my brain's still kind of waking up for the day. All right, ready, set, wave. Hello, buddies. We are at Let's Design an App Together with Lora and Elsa. Thank you, buddies, for coming. We have a fun design challenge, and the video is on our YouTube channel.
Hello, buddies. We are
Sorry, my phone is really loud. So I'm gonna say that. All right, let's do the giveaway. So we have 3 XD swag bags to give away. And if you have questions, please copy paste them and paste them in the chat after the giveaway. So for a giveaway, first trivia question is, what is Fluffle's favorite food? Yeah, so let us know in the chat, what do you think Fluffle? Fluffle is, by the way, our friendly mascot bunny, but what is Fluffle's favorite food? It's all correct.
Oh my gosh.
What kind of beans? What? We haven't announced this yet, but we're developing Fluffle more as a character. Jelly beans, yes, that is correct. So yes, all right. So feel free to just keep commenting jelly beans. The reason why Fluffle's favorite food is jelly beans because they come in all types of flavors and colors, just like design. There's all types of different types of design. So jelly beans. This is from our April Fool's Day. We ran into design beans once. This is where it all came from. So yeah, and so we're gonna choose one random winner from this, and we're gonna do our second prompt. So we'll contact you via the email you have submitted on Luma, because we're gonna find the Zoom link match your name and stuff. So make sure your Zoom name matches your Luma so we can easily find you. Our next question, or just maybe we can just do, is there any other question you want to ask Laura and Elsa, or else I'll just like have them type XD in the chat.
Okay, gosh, quick on the spot. What should we ask them? I guess just a general question. What is your favorite fruit? I'm thinking of fruit right now.
Yeah. Mango, nice. We can just like pick like 2 people from the fruits.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, 1 people from the fruits and 1 people from the XD. So yeah, keep commenting your favorite fruit. If you don't like fruit, comment your favorite vegetable, I guess. Yeah. All right. Next one is comment XD in the chat to win our third one. So we're just choosing someone random.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I love it. Okay, cool. All right, let's.
Wow.
So many XDs.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's do our giveaway. Our Q&A. So I'm gonna save the chat just to make sure I have it, and you'll be choosing and contacting y'all afterwards as well. It'll be randomly generated. I'll basically be closing my eyes and like scrolling up, scrolling down, and then like choosing one person. So that's how it's generated. It's all random. So, and we'll also have a design challenge, which we'll be dropping the details in our Discord server as well. But we have 2 weeks to submit an NFT app that you designed in Adobe XD, and we'll also have 3 winners from that as well. So it's no worries if we didn't win this time. We have other chances, and we also have more events with our buddies at XD coming up this year as well. So definitely not a last time. And yeah, thank you, V, for sharing that. The design challenge info. This will also be on our Discord server. And our first question is, can this be done in a group, or only one person can do the challenge? I'm open to either way.
Mm-hmm. I think either way is fine.
Yeah, you can work in groups or you can work individually, the way you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. How big for the groups?
I think 2 people maybe, or
2 or 2 to 3. I guess I wouldn't think you'd need more than 3.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you can work in groups of 3, everyone. Oh yeah, because of 3 winners. Yeah. Cool. Cool. So feel free to keep dropping your questions in the chat. I know there are some earlier. So Chris asks, I'm just reading the questions out loud for our buddies watching the recording. I find the styles very difficult to edit once established. Is there an easy way to do alterations once the styles are all in place?
Yeah, you mean, I guess, from the document assets panel. Basically, you can right click on the color, for example, and choose edit color. Maybe I can share my screen for that. Let me just, can you see my screen or?
Not yet. And yes, Austin, you can also do it as a team of up to 3. Thanks, Margaret.
Sorry, I think now you can see it probably.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, basically, if you want to change the color, you can either right click here and select edit and then edit from here. Or for example, if you already have an object, if you already have, okay, I think my computer froze.
Oh no, it got stuck.
Yeah, it's oh, okay. It needed some time. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So now you can see actually, I by mistake selected this red color. So what happened was that XD applied this new color everywhere where I applied the white color beforehand. So maybe that's also why it took time for it, but let me just return this to white. It's probably going to take a minute for it. So this is one way to do it. And another way is if you already have an object on either of one of your screens, you can basically, okay, it still needs time. You can basically select that object. I will show it in a minute. Let's say I have this circle here and I have, I don't know, this color, for example. So I can just select this shape and add the color again from here. And then I can change it wherever I want to. But I think maybe your question was more on how to edit already existing styles, and that would be with right-clicking here and editing and choosing your new color. I hope that answers your question, but if it doesn't, please let me know.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so our next question comes from Hobbs Creative, I thought, and they mentioned, though I've read some basics about NFTs, but I did like if you can enlighten us more on why it's necessary for today to learn how to design one. Maybe we can elaborate on how the idea was about and maybe a little bit more about like NFTs if people don't really know about them.
Yeah, we can do that and share it later on your Discord.
Yeah, sounds good. And Heather asks, what guidelines did you use for borders, or did you use grids?
Yeah, we use grids. Let me just show you. So we use grids when we had our low fidelity wireframes, and actually you can see the grids now. So the way you work with grids is, let me just close this one. When you select your artboard and you go to the edge of the artboard, you can see that the icon changes from arrow to two arrows, to two like opposing arrows. And this means that you can just hold with your mouse and drag a new guide. And while you're moving the guide, you can see here on the top with the like pink numbers, it shows you basically what is the distance from the last guide. So you can see that from the edge of the artboard until this guide, it's 32 pixels. And then if we move from this guide forward, then it shows us the distance between the two guides. And another way is, again, if you select the artboard, you can go here in the properties panel and select grid. And then you have like this layout that you can also adjust from here. And you can also convert it to this type of grid, to the square grid.
Yeah, and there are also shortcuts if you want to just like quickly hide or show them as well. I know on Mac it's command comma or command semicolon to like show your guides, command semicolon to show them and hide them. And then I think for the grid, it's shift command, either comma or semicolon. So if you just kind of want to get in the habit of using those shortcuts quickly, you can also kind of learn those as well.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Daphne asked, what is a proper way to save a document so you can present to the client based on your experience? Like maybe you could show through like sharing the prototype link on different ways, or other ways you would share files with clients.
Yes, Elsa, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So let me share my screen quickly. So there are a couple of different share options that you have. So if we were to click the share tab up here, and it kind of gives you a couple of different settings that you can work with. I believe, because I'm not the owner of the document, it would have to be Lora who adjusts these settings to kind of choose how you wanted to share them. But essentially, you would name what your link is if you were sharing your link. And then there are a couple of different view options that you have. So the automatic one that you get is design review. And that's really useful if you want to get feedback on your design. So if you want somebody to be able to comment on your different screens, then you can share it as a design review. That's what I would normally use to share with the clients, because you just kind of want to give them the ability to see your different screens and then write comments when they wanted to write comments. But there are a couple other different view modes as well. I know there's one for development if you wanted to share it maybe with a developer or someone who's actually going to build your app or your website, so an engineer. So you can use that option as well, and that would kind of give them extra details on like code and formatting so that they can use them when they're actually building the live product. And there's also a share option for user testing as well, I believe. So if you wanted to have somebody test your actual product, you can share it in that format as well. And that kind of makes it easier for them, particularly with prototypes, to test the actual prototype of your product and then give you feedback on how it performed or anything that they'd want to have changed or improved. And then the last part is link access. So if you want to kind of determine who you want to have access to this thing. So right now it's on anyone with the link. So anyone who has access to the link can view your prototype or view your design, but you can adjust that settings as well. So you can click this particular icon here on the right if you want to invite people by email, I believe, specifically to this design, or you can kind of stipulate who you want to have access to it according to whatever privacy settings you want it to work with. And then once you've determined all those different options, you'll just have to create link, and it'll create a link for you and show it right here. So where this box would be, and then you can copy that link and share it with who you'd want to share it with. Yeah.
Yes, and I actually see that a lot of people are asking about the gutter or the space that you leave on the sides or on the top and the bottom. And this basically depends on your project and for what system are you designing. And usually when you work on a project, you have like project managers or graphic designers that are handing in the assets and the guidelines of the company you're designing for, and they would provide they would provide their requirements, and also you need to follow the requirements of the system you're designing for. So you need to see what space you need to leave for like Apple devices or for Android devices. So it really depends. There is no like one answer to that. But I know that many developers use the 8-grid system. So basically you would leave spaces on the side and also determine the size of the buttons and the text area and everything to be amount of pixels that you can divide on 8. So it makes it easier for developers actually to kind of structure the pages. And I saw that someone asked about the format of the videos. Currently it's MP4. And this is the one that I use to like drag in my sorry, my throat, in my document. And the compression codec used for that one is H264. And currently XD supports videos up to 15 megabytes. So if you have like a larger video, you can use Premiere Pro or another just online converter to like make it smaller. But as far as I've heard, they're like working on expanding those limitations. So this will be hopefully changed soon.
Yeah. And I know Salvatore mentioned about the material or human interface guidelines. So I think our design, we use iOS guidelines, and a really cool thing with XD is that you can actually get the UI kits. So those are really great in terms of giving you a lot of the different template formats that you would use. So for in our design, we had, originally we had kind of like the top bar where it says like the time and has those symbols, and also the bottom. I don't use iPhone. I don't know what it's called. Home indicator, maybe. So the line at the bottom as well. So if you wanted to get those template formats, you would just have to go to on your XD file, and then click get UI kits. And then you can pick which one you want, whether it's material guidelines or iOS guidelines, depending. So that's also really useful. Yes, Grace provided a link. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you talk about like the design to dev handoff process with XD? From a question from Salvatore.
Yeah, I think I also touched upon that basically when you go to the shared tab where she showed you in XD, you have different options. I don't know, maybe I can share my screen and show the options because she couldn't show them from. Let me just. Okay, so I hope you can already see my screen, but basically when you go here in the share tab, a new menu appears here. So you can customize the settings of the link. So from here, you actually have all the options. And if you want to hand it off to developers, you would pick this one. And yeah, then you can choose also the operating system, let's say iOS. And here you can select if you want anybody to be able to access the properties or only invited people. Let's say anyone with the link and create link. And then XD creates this link and you can hand it to your developers and it will contain different like details that developers would need, like color codes, like margins and stuff like that. It takes time to create, but yeah, basically when you create it, you can hand it off to your developers. And also, Elsa, if you want to add something on that.
Yeah, definitely. And then when you click the link, like Laura said, it'll open up. And besides just showing you your design, it'll give you all those extra details that you would normally use when you're actually building your product live. So pixels, whether you need to know a distance between different elements, hex code for your colors, it just presents that information in a way that's a lot easier for the developer or for yourself to access. I know someone asked if you can just export your design to a straight HTML document. I believe there is a plugin that will create an HTML, maybe also a CSS document for you, but then you would still need to then find a way of hosting the actual site with those documents live. Or you can kind of use that data to recreate the website or app on your own if you have a way of doing so. There are a lot of like no code builders, and Bravo, I know, is an example of ways you can still create products live without having to actually use the code as well. So yeah, it depends on what you'd want to do.
So thank you. We have time for one more quick question. I know there's a question about different design tools. Like I was wondering if you are able to answer like differences between like XD and Figma or like Sketch, or kind of like the pros and cons of each, since we have a lot of new designers exploring different tools right now. Or like what your favorite part of XD is compared to like Figma or Sketch.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think I saw that question as well. I use both. I don't think I use Sketch. I would say Figma and XD would be my main ones, with XD being the primary design software I use because I've used it more often. And I think it depends also on maybe what you are trying to achieve as well, and maybe even with who you're working with. So perhaps your client would prefer a specific design software like XD or Figma, so you'd have to work with that. I think it helps to be familiar with as many as you'd want, or maybe 2 or 3, because it kind of just helps to be aware of how these different programs work, and maybe specific features work better for certain programs over others, or you're more comfortable with specific features over others. I think my favorite thing about XD is maybe just the assets library and also the cloud. So the fact that you can link different assets across different Adobe programs. So if I make something in Photoshop, I can drag it to my cloud library and apply it in XD. So that seamlessness experience also is kind of really useful in kind of making things really quick and editing them in different programs as well. So that would be my favorite thing. I don't know about Laura.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I like about XD. I'm really hooked on the new updates with the video and floaties, and I just saw that they are releasing in the new update version hyperlinks, which was very requested, and I think it's going to be really cool to use that feature. And I think most of the time it depends on the team you work with, because there's teams and companies that have preferred app to work with, but also some of the apps support files of the other apps. So you can open, I think, sketch files with Figma or with XD. I'm not sure about Figma. So I think this makes it also easy for you. If you have a preferred app, you can work with your own app, and then just anyone in your team could open it with the other app. So yeah, just research if there is this conversion between the apps that your team is working with.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. I definitely feel like it's good for my own personal experience. It's good to like be comfortable for at least one. And once you know one, it's pretty easy to pick up another one too. So yeah, I guess the advice I would give is like, don't feel the pressure to like be a master of all of them. Cause it's like, it could be a lot as a new designer. And once you know one, it's like, at least in my experience, it was easy for me to, I learned Figma
Yeah.
first, but it was easier for me to pick up XD too. So they're pretty similar.
True. And I really agree with Elsa. I think the biggest advantage of XD is the cross-app collaboration between different apps. So it's very easy actually for you when you're working on your screen in XD and you want to adjust the image, you just right click and go to edit to Photoshop, and you can quickly edit it, save it, and it directly saves it in your XD file. And also like using libraries, you can have like graphic designer creating vector assets for you, put them in the libraries, and you can just drag them from there. It's like really easy. So this really makes the process faster and easier.
Yeah, super convenient. Yeah. Cool. Is there any other last tips you would like to give before we wrap up today? I know there's some additional questions. Maybe, I know we're at time. Maybe we can ask them in the app design challenge channel. So we can start a thread for questions if that works.
Yeah, of course. People can drop their questions in Discord, and we will try to answer all of them. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, with that, thank you all so much for coming. I know a lot of our audience really enjoyed our workshop today. Feel free to connect with Design Buddies, Lora, Elsa on social media. We have a networking sheet and also some links that our friendly moderator V. And thank you so much, V, for helping out from Design Buddies too, dropping all the helpful links in the chat as well. So feel free to connect there. We'll have more workshops coming up soon. We have a lot more with our buddies at XD. I'm also chatting with them soon. So yeah, more coming from us. We also have other workshops from XD that we did last year on like personal branding, social media animation. So I know I saw Matt here as well. So Matt did a one on like designing games and also some other ones with us too. So make sure to check out our YouTube channel if you want to watch those as well. And learn about using XD to design like social media assets and logo animation. So not just apps, but like those stuff as well. So yeah, those resources are available on our YouTube channel. You can also get the Design Studies Zoom background. You can actually find a link in our Discord server about and links channel. It's one of the links linked there. So you can use any of our backgrounds in your work meetings and your other meetings too. So yeah, with that, I am going to stop recording on YouTube. So bye, YouTube buddies.